Good morning, friends, and thanks for joining me today. It's Monday morning, and we are just now in the launch sequence of house churches this week. We're in some discussions on what it is and why are we doing this? What is the rationale? Today, what I want to focus on a little bit more is the change that what was happening with the 12, what was happening in the small entourage that traveled with Jesus, the learning group, the learning environment that they were in. That's the key to real heart and life change. But there's something more to that than simply just processing truth and processing ideas. There is the whole idea that you grow in connection with others, that you have been built for connection by God. You've been built to connect with God and to connect with others. And in the connection, you experience the love of God with skin on. Jesus came to display to us, to reveal to us who God is with skin on. And now you have in a house church a small group of people who are Jesus with skin on, not perfect like Jesus. Obviously, I mean that's obvious, but the reality is that you and I were designed for connection, and that if you don't have that connection, it doesn't matter how much truth that you have, you won't change to become like Jesus. You need connection with others. You need community to grow up into this stuff. You need that to be the place where you actually practice. You need to have the iron sharpens iron, that actually this person rubs me wrong. I want to go somewhere else. And the fact that you stay in community, you build connection, you forgive, you reconcile, you talk it out, you learn, you grow. That is the key to changing. When you do that, you change, you become a different person. Years ago, when I became a pastor, I was 25. I was immature. I was gifted but immature, and I was given the helm of a church that I had helped plant, and I was. I thought I was leading, but basically I was controlling everything because I was too insecure to let anything actually grow or do anything without me. So at one point in time, one of our staff members came up to me and said, you're, it looked like an insurrection to me, but really what it was they were just chafing underneath my immature leadership in that. And I remember really, one of our senior staff, I wanted to fire him. And instead, I felt like instinctively I need to sit down and just talk and hear what he had to say. And as he was talking to me about holding on too tight, talking to me about not leading but controlling, and that the church, that I'm a good leader, but I need to actually lead and let other people lead. And as we're doing that, we have this very hard discussion, and we had a number of different discussions where I had the opportunity to I had the authority to exit the relationship and to terminate him from our staff. Instead, we sat down, we worked. There were many tears. There was lots of there was lots of conflict. And as we stuck it out and moved toward each other rather than away from each other, we both grew up a ton. I became a very different man in that. I needed to have that kind of friction to be able to actually grow up. I think that most of us will exit friction whenever we get that. But in community, you're just going to have people that are different than you are, and they're going to rub you wrong. And it happens all the time. And I think that we give ourselves permission to exit, an exit ramp at these things constantly, not knowing that it's actually in working through those conflicts, working through those different differences, hearing each other. That's the playing field of growth, and the relationship and the love, the bonding that we have on the other side of resolving, not just sweeping it under the carpet, not just acting like it's not there, but actually working through these things relationally. When we do that, we change. It is the epicenter. It is ground zero for change. That when you and I actually stick it out in relationships together like this, we become different people. We become like Jesus. I'm proof positive of that. I remember my friend's name was Douglas, and when we sent Douglas out to plant a church, finally it tore my guts out. I remember when we prayed for them up front at church, I cried and cried and cried and cried and cried some more. Why? Because I was so connected. We were so connected because we had not exited the conflict, that we stayed together. And when we stayed together, we grew together. And we really had this bond that was very, very special. That's one of the things that house church is going to give us. That's one of the whys of house church is that when you actually do the hard work of relationship, and relationships are hard, let's just admit that. When you do the hard work of relationship, you grow up. You become more like Jesus. And this is the business of discipleship, of becoming a disciple. Thanks so much for joining me today. Well, again, we're just going to be talking about the why of house churches, because, and not just the answer to that question there's plenty of answers to that question that are so beautiful. I love you. Thanks for joining me. God bless you.